This is the one, Denver fans. This is the one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the one we've been talking about. This is the trade that we wanted to see happen. The Denver Nuggets have acquired Aaron Gordon. I don't care about the trade details. RJ Hampton, a first-round pick. And who else was it? Gary Harris. That's the trade details. People said, oh, the Magic have won that trade. Are you kidding me? So look at the logistics. You see this is a Denver Nuggets team that now they add Aaron Gordon into the mix, which we're going to talk about that. They're going to be, 25th in terms of their first-round pick? RJ Hampton. RJ Hampton looks nice. I've seen some nice glimpses of him. The Denver Nuggets just don't need him. They've got Facundo Campazzo. They've got Monte Morris, probably the best backup point guard in the league. He's not exactly old. He's tied down to a contract. They've got Jamal Murray. They've got all of these guys. It just doesn't make sense. RJ Hampton's just not really on their timeline right now. They're in a timeline where they can be competing for a championship right now. I mean, they can continue to do it because they're like all in their mid-20s, but still, RJ Hampton isn't there. He's a good player, but it's nothing crazy. A 25th or something overall pick. And Gary Harris is a bad contract. It's like a very bad contract. So that's what some people are missing. It's just a solid trade for the Nuggets. They didn't give up any core pieces. That's all that matters. They didn't give up any core pieces. And they got back Aaron Gordon. Oh, wow. This is the biggest trade so far. Now, Kyle Lowry hasn't been traded yet. That could be huge, but I don't really care because I'm someone that's really liked the Nuggets, and I made a video earlier in the season talking about I don't think this current iteration of the Denver Nuggets was going to win a championship. People said, oh, you're being too reactionary. That's cool. We'll never find out if that was the case because they've made a move that I think gives them a chance to win a championship. Yeah, some people might be thinking I'm too reactionary now. I don't really care. They made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. We know. They got Aaron Gordon. That is a huge, huge move for this team. The one area that they needed addressing that I thought they needed to address, I literally actually said that they should get Aaron Gordon. Yeah, it's not about me, but it's about the Denver Nuggets getting Aaron Gordon. Yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning. Who cares right now? I haven't slept in like 21 hours. But talking about this trade, Aaron Gordon to the Denver Nuggets, it just makes so much sense. It's so perfect for this team. Now, Will Barton is supposedly maybe in the trade mix. I don't know. The Nuggets might make another move, but I'm just making this video right now because I think this trade is the biggest one they're going to make. But who knows? They might make a move. But at the moment, you've got Jamal Murray. You've got Will Barton / Monte Morris, who's obviously coming off an injury. Facundo Campazzo is in the mix as well. And then you've got Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic, of course, rounding out the mix. This is a team that has championship aspirations now. Why did I think Aaron Gordon was such a perfect fit? I've talked about it. The Nuggets were lacking one thing in particular. Wing depth, wing defense, someone who can go up against the bigger guys in the league, the guys like the Kawhi Leonards, the Paul Georges, the LeBron Jameses, all of these guys. Aaron Gordon isn't coming in there and stopping these guys. You just can't expect that of anyone. But Aaron Gordon comes in there, and Aaron Gordon does as good a job as a lot of people in the league at going up against those guys. And so now you've got a few matchups you can throw at them. Michael Porter Jr. has improved on defense, and what they did last year in the playoffs was they threw multiple guys with length at Kawhi Leonard. They couldn't really do the same thing against LeBron James as much. It's LeBron James. But now you've got Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. on the floor at the same times. They can both stretch the floor. Aaron Gordon is shooting a career-high percentage from 3 this year. He's someone who can stretch the floor alongside Nikola Jokic. You've got 5 guys who can all shoot the 3 ball really well. You've got Aaron Gordon, an athletic, defensive, switchable guy alongside Nikola Jokic who can cut to the rim, who can shoot the 3 ball. He's a perfect fit alongside the Joker. It just makes too much sense. It just makes too much sense for me to even make sense of this. Yeah, that made no sense at all, but I'm just saying sense a lot right now because yeah, I haven't slept in a long time, but who cares right now? Aaron Gordon is on the Nuggets. They're the 17th ranked defense right now. They needed some defensive improvements. Like I said, they're not winning a championship with the current iteration. Now you add an Aaron Gordon to the mix, that changes a lot. This is a team that has Jamal Murray, that has Nikola Jokic. Michael Porter Jr. has taken a leap. I think if he stays off the bench, Monte Morris is the best backup point guard in the league. Facundo Campazzo, when his shot comes back to where it was beforehand, he's shown signs of being that defensive pest who come up in the playoffs and make big time plays. This is a Denver Nuggets team that should now be feared, and they're a genuine threat to the championship. I believe that. I've talked about how moves change everything for a team, And sometimes that's an exaggeration. You got to understand, obviously, the title has to work. You just got to say some things like that. I'm not saying those things are just completely misleading. I'm not clickbaiting you guys, but you know what I mean. Sometimes you just got to exaggerate those things. That's YouTube. This does change everything for the Denver Nuggets. Perfect trade. Perfect trade. Let me just check my phone to make sure no one else has been traded. Will Barton has probably been shipped off to the Detroit Pistons as we say right now. So yeah, no one has been traded yet. But getting back to the point of the video, Aaron Gordon on the Nuggets. Let's look at the playoff picture. Who really cares about the regular season? We know the Nuggets are going to get enough win to be a 4th, 3rd seed, wherever they end up. Aaron Gordon in the playoffs, when he's fully integrated with the Nuggets, what he does for this team outside of defense, like I mentioned, he's someone who's good at attacking the rim. He's athletic. He'll play alongside Nikola Jokic. He'll take up for some of those weaknesses in terms of Jokic's lack of athleticism. Jokic's struggles defensively is getting overstated sometimes. Some people say he's a terrible defender. Some people say he's a good defender. I'd say somewhere in between. I just say he's an average defender that gambles at the right times, but still has his limitations physically. Aaron Gordon is someone who does not have any limitations physically. As we've seen, the 2-time slam dunk robbed champion, Aaron Gordon, we know he's a physical beast. We know he can come off screens. We know he's a switchable guy. He's gone up against guards before and locked him up. He's gone up against wings. He can go up against bigs. He's a very switchable defender. That's exactly what the Nuggets needed. They needed someone instead of Paul Millsap, JaMychal Green, who are still going to be solid veterans off the bench. Now you push them back to the bench, and all of a sudden you've got a nice rotation. I mean, JaMychal Green was doing damage against the Nuggets last year in the playoffs for the Clippers, and now all of a sudden he's coming off the bench. Paul Millsap, that's where he should be. I like Paul Millsap, but he is not a starting NBA player in the playoffs. And although he had that one good stretch against the Clippers, let's not get carried away. He was poor in the playoffs. He was struggling. But Paul Millsap coming off the bench all of a sudden, veteran presence, veteran minutes, yeah, he could be solid. They've got a solid bench. They've got a very good bench, actually. And they've got an unbelievable starting lineup now with Aaron Gordon fixing that immediate hole. Looking forward to the playoffs. We already know what their offense is. Their offense is borderline unstoppable because you've got Nikola Jokic. You've got Nikola Jokic. That's an unstoppable offensive player. You pair that with Jamal Murray. We know their combination play is pretty much unstoppable. We've seen it against every single opposition. It doesn't matter. Their pick and roll, their pick and pop, it doesn't matter. They're scoring off that. You add an Aaron Gordon to the mix. Michael Porter Jr., like I mentioned, has made the jump. Yeah, this isn't the most coherent state for me, but just know the Denver Nuggets have made potentially the move of the trade deadline, and I'm just excited for this team because this is a team that I really wanted to see make that one move, and that one move was something exactly like this, and that's exactly what they've done. In terms of Aaron Gordon, I don't even think he's a star-level player. Well, I mean, he's not. We know he's not. But he's a good player. But more importantly, he's a great fit. That's what matters when you're a team like Denver. You're not looking to get 4 All-Stars like the Brooklyn Nets. You're not looking to get that because that's just not going to happen realistically in most situations. You've now got a superstar, an All-Star level player in Jamal Murray when he's playing at his best like he has for most of the season, except for a couple of games here and there. Michael Porter Jr. has made that jump. Aaron Gordon is a Swiss Army knife on defense and a solid offensive player. Exactly what you needed. That's pretty much, I'm reiterating the same thing because, like I mentioned, it's just all a bit raw right now, but it's all a bit great. That doesn't sound particularly great, but you know what I'm saying. Aaron Gordon to the Denver Nuggets is a fantastic deal. Denver have got it done. Let's go. Let's go. That's all I can say. Who cares? That's it. Whatever. Bye. Have a good day.